So I was back down the reservoir at first light on this continued mission to catch a big bream. So much so that I'd actually enlisted the help of my good friend and fishing buddy Lee, and he brought along some proper fishing tackle. And even I'd been compelled to dig out my modern rod and reel, although modern is a relative term, as it's a 30-year-old power mesh rod and a similarly aged bait runner reel, and I still had to borrow some rod rests because I don't own any. So bait and tactics, as always, very simple. We were using method feeders fished at various ranges, and it was just a base of scalded pellet with mini boilies, sweet corn and some whole pellet in it as well to provide loose feed. Moulded around a feeder, and then with a boilie pellet as a hook bait. And then the whole lot was just unceremoniously dumped out into the reservoir at various distances. Now, I'd actually started just off the margin shelf, but had been bothered by very small skimmer bream, so we'd moved everything out by a rod length respectively. So we were fishing between sort of 2 and 6 rod lengths out, and just really trying to narrow down where we would get the most consistent action. And this fish was more encouragement than excitement. It just showed us that the tactics we were employing were working, and encouraged us to try a little bit harder. Not a particularly big fish, but it's nice when you can put a plan into action. And this is the great thing about bream. On shallow margins, they will just lay there and let you unhook them. They're really quite passive, unlike a tench or carp or roach. As I say, not a big fish, but a very clean fish and encouraging. And before I could even get that rod rebaited and out, so my left hand rod, which I borrowed off Lee, was showing signs of interest, and it was instantly clear that this was a slightly better fish and was actually pulling back a bit, so much so that my able-bodied assistant had to sneak a landing net into shot. Now, it's still not catching with any consistency, and I don't think we're amongst the biggest of the fish here, but this, I probably should have weighed this. Probably was a PB, but I'm so out of the habit of weighing fish that I put them back before I remember to do things like that. But hopefully we remember to weigh the big one when we catch it.